Drew here, and I'm joined by Terry Edwards, creator of the Recruitment Marketing Academy and author of the book 7 Deadly Threats. Terry, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for asking me along, Drew. It's a real pleasure.
Great stuff. So, what are you going to be sharing with us in today's video?
Well, what it is, Drew, over the years now, one of the biggest challenges for recruiters is how to generate more leads and make more placements and increase their personal earnings. So what we'll be covering today, Drew, is just really some fundamental things that recruiters and search firms can do to generate more leads and increase their personal earnings.
Okay, so I know we were speaking about this off camera, but for the sake of everyone watching today, what are some of the biggest challenges that recruitment and search firm owners have when it comes to attracting clients into their business? Why is it such a big problem? Because for me on a personal level, every time I speak to a recruiter and you ask them what's the biggest challenge, they're always talking about getting more clients, but specifically, why do they find that so hard?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question there, Drew. I think there's a number of things that are going on here. First of all, for most recruiters, most search firms, they've got 1, 2, maybe 3. If you're really lucky, Drew, they might have 4. So here are the 4 main ways that recruiters will get business. They may cold call. That's great. They may use word of mouth. They may use networking. They may use MPC, most placeable candidates. But they may have 3, 4, 5 at the tops, fundamental ways for generating leads. The challenge with that is, to be fair, I was doing that 25, 30 years ago, using exactly those same methods. And the market's moved on now. And what we found is the really smart, top-performing recruiters and search firms are using other methods for generating leads. And that's some of what I'm going to be covering today. Some of those more sophisticated methods for generating leads. Okay, so you mentioned that was what you were doing 25 years ago. How long have you been doing this? Well, yes, despite my youthful looks, I've been in recruitment for 27 years on a serious note, and I have a wealth of recruitment experience. I worked for a big search firm in London many years ago when I first got into recruitment, and also had my own business as well. And Drew Coaching, as a business, we work with the owners and directors of independently owned recruitment and search firms, and we share with them how to generate more leads and make more placements. And I'm doing that for about 11 years now. So it's worth noting that what I'm about to share with you isn't based on theory. What I'm sharing with you is what the top firms are doing right now, and quite frankly, what you can do as well to generate leads. Okay, great stuff. So, we spoke sort of offline before we hit record on the video. You spoke about one of the biggest problems is for recruitment business owners, they don't have a system, they have no sort of step-by-step proven method or proven system for bringing in clients. So not having enough routes to market was one of the things he talked about, but the other big problem was actually having this process that they follow, and they've always got an old system. So today one of the things that you're going to be sharing with us is how to build that system. And we're speaking offline, and you said it's a 7-step system, so it's fairly simple for anyone who wants to implement this system to do. It's a fairly simple process to follow. But the first step in that is market. Can you just explain what you mean by that and why it's so important? Why is step 1, which is market, in the system, why is that so important? So, in a nutshell, Drew, there are 7 fundamental steps that any owner of a recruitment or search firm can take. If you just follow these 7 fundamental steps I'm going to share with you now, they can literally start generating leads pretty quickly. Does that make sense so far, Drew?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Great. So the first one is market. And what I mean by that is, who is your market? Who precisely are they targeting? I think it's a quote I got from you, Drew. I think it's from you, where you said there's no point marketing. I was trying to sell pork sausages to vegetarian, which I thought was a great way of putting it. And that applies to you as an owner of a recruitment firm or a search firm. The market that you're targeting, they must be the decision makers. They must be the individuals who will actually engage you, be it HR or be it the line manager. And it has to be a sufficient size as well. I think another common challenge here, when you talk to owners of search firms, you say, do you have a database of potential clients? Sometimes we talk to clients and say, yeah, I've got 30 or 40 potential clients. Well, that is just not enough, Drew. Does that make enough sense there? That you need a market where there's potential there for clients to engage with you? Yeah, so what I'm getting here is in terms of market, there's a few things you need. Obviously, you need to be targeting the decision maker, but also your market needs to be big enough. You need to be targeting enough people for it to have an impact. And also, I guess as well, depending on what sort of recruitment firm you want to have, what your market needs to be in line with what you charge for your recruitment services needs to be in line with your market as well.
Is that right? Would you?
Absolutely right. So if you're, as you know, Drew, there's different forms of recruitment. So at the top end, you get let's say an executive search, and as you know, something that we know very well, her average fees are about $40,000 US per placement. So that's one end of the market. And we also work with other recruitment firms who average fees, and purely on the perm side, would be in dollars, about $4,000, £2,500, that sort of thing. So you've got to be targeting those individuals who are in the market for what you're doing, but of course who are in the position to got the authority to say, yeah, hey, we can go ahead with you. As Drew said, and the size of that market has to be right. There's the figure worth noting here that at any one time, approximately 5% of your market, as we call it, are what we call now buyers. And our definition of a now buyer is somebody that's in a position to engage you in the next 90 days or so. So ideally, per fee earner, you probably need about a database of about 2,000 for this to be effective. So the first thing is the market. Does that make sense, Drew, when I talk about the market and what they need to be doing is step one?
Yeah, it does. And I mean, from again, a lot of the recruitment and search firm owners that I speak to, and this really relates to any industry rather than just recruitment, is one of the first things that we think about when we start a business is, what am I going to sell, or what am I going to do? So we think about selling recruitment or whatever service it is. But really, I guess most importantly, what you're saying is the first thing we need to think about before we think about what we're going to sell is, who are we going to sell to? Because that will then determine how we package, how we position, how we essentially put across, I guess, our message. How do we communicate to our market? Is that right?
Absolutely right. Yeah.
And that really brings me on to the step two that you've got in this 7-step process, which is your message.
Yeah.
So again, can you explain what that is and why that is?
Yeah, sure. So let me just message. So what's the message that you're then sending out to your market? Now, quite frankly, and you see this all the time, Drew, we both see this on the regular basis. If you're sending out messages, something like, well, I'm a great recruiter, I've got high integrity, we always deliver, blah, 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 do you know what? It's not going to work, because you've probably found it already. So your message is really about how you can solve their problem rather than about you. So what's the benefit that you're going to give to your market? Does that make sense there, Drew?
Yeah, it does. So I guess when you talk about message, in a nutshell, your clients don't care about you. Nobody wants recruitment really. All we really care about, at least at this stage, is all your clients really care about are their problems and how to fix them. So what you're basically saying is the message that a recruitment firm or search firm sends out says in their communication, so whether it's on the telephone, whether it's in email, however you communicate, it needs to be talking about how they can solve the problem that the market is having. It needs to be in line with what the market is having, which again is another reason why knowing your market is so important, because a different market you're going to need a different message to target a different market. Even if it's just a subtle change, there is going to be a difference there. Is that, would you go along with that?
Yeah, excellent. Let me give you a couple of examples, Drew. I think I mentioned about my background in recruitment, and all my recruitment experience was around IT. So I recruited senior IT project managers and that sort of thing. So what was shared with us, when you're communicating to the IT director, telling them that you're an IT director, they go, so what? Telling the IT director or the VP of IT, if you have a problem having your projects delivered on time because of the lack of skill sets, we may be able to help you. That's the message. That's what the VP of IT is interested in. Another example, let's say you're a VP of sales. We'll say to the VP of sales, if your challenge is around, the bottom line and achieving your quota, achieving your target for the year, what it may mean is that you need top performing salespeople. So the message there is solving the sales director or the VP of sales director's problem. Does that make sense? You're talking about what you're going to do for them rather than, we've been established for 20 years, high integrity, and all the things that you see that most, and I mean quite frankly, Drew, probably 95% of recruiters, if you go onto the website, we do this, our team, and it's all about them. And your client, honestly, you said, got no interest in you. And I always use this as an example. It's a bit like if you go into a store to buy a pair of jeans, let's say.
Yeah.
Imagine you go into a store to buy a pair of jeans, and you walk into the store, and this shop assistant comes over and says, hi, my name is whatever. Let me tell you all about our store. Let me tell you about our management team. Let me tell you that all the other stores that we have in the country. And let me show you some photographs of our management team. Let me share with you what our mission statement is for our store. Now, if you're buying a pair of jeans, what you're thinking is, I just couldn't care less. All I want is a pair of jeans. All I want is my problem solved. Exactly the same here for the client. So talk about how you're going to solve their problem rather than talking about yourself. Do you?
Yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense. And there's an old sort of saying in marketing, which is sell the sizzle and not the steak.
Yeah, good point.
Another thing that sprang to mind as you were talking there was, if no one wants to buy a 1/4-inch drill, they want to buy the 1/4-inch hole in the wall. Again, it's a similar thing to what you're saying. Is you're talking about when you communicate, your message needs to be about solving the problem that the clients have. And again, use the example of buying a pair of jeans there, but also I think again it relates to anything. So again, as you're speaking, the perfect example that sprang up in my head was buying a car. So depending on if let's say you're a car salesman, depending on what market you're selling your car to, even though essentially it's a car and it's there to get you from A to B, your message is going to be completely different. So if you're selling your car to maybe a single mum, the message is going to be maybe more about safety and having good access for a child seat and things like that. If you're selling it to a single guy who has no kids, perhaps, and they're interested in sport cars, perhaps it's going to be about how fast the car travels, or how young and youthful the guy will feel when he drives it. So it's the same product essentially, but because the market's different, the message then becomes different as well.
Yeah. And I think that just finish off there. You talk to many recruiters. You say, "What do you do?" They say, "I'm a recruiter." Quite frankly, if they're saying to their market, "I'm a recruiter," you're turning them off because they really don't care. What your market wants is their problem solved. And that brings on to, so you've got your market, you've got your message. Now it's about what we call the media. Where does your market hang out? Where can you get that message out to your market? So the media is just that, Drew, and there's a number of different platforms that you can use, but you really need to understand, let's just make a note of this, by the way, media. I can tell the way you look at me, Drew, you're thinking, I wish you'd just write that down. But seriously, so media, where does my market, where can I get that message out to my market? What media can I use? And there are several different platforms. You could use direct mail, you can use emails, you can use LinkedIn, you can use Google, you can use Facebook, you can go on and on and on and on. But that's really important that you know where your market is. True, before I go on, is there anything you want to add? What I said so far?
Yeah, so I mean, when you talk about media, that really relates back to what you said in the beginning, that when it comes to media, like a big proportion of recruitment and search managers only have one or two. So you've mentioned cold calling. I think you talked about what else you use? Word of mouth.
Yeah, networking.
Networking as well. There's only sort of 4 key ones that the majority of recruitment and search firm owners use. But I mean, how many different medias should you be using, or how many are there? Because I mean, most recruiters they're only using those 4 because that's all they know about. But is there some that we're missing? Is there some that we need to be looking at?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. As to how many, I did go and check that, but I suppose another way of answering is that there are numerous methods. I tell you what, let's just talk about a few methods that you could be using that, hey, here's the good news as well. Most of your competitors aren't even aware of this. I can literally guarantee most of your competitors won't be using some of the medias that we're about to share with you. So, let's start with your website, the most obvious one.
Yeah.
Most recruiters' websites do this. We are fantastic, all about us, all about us, all about us. And the typical recruitment and search firm website gets on average about 2,000 visitors a month to their website, on average, in our experience. But most of the time they're just talking about themselves. How would it be if on your website, rather than talk about yourself, you said to your market, let's stay with IT, hey, are you an IT director? Do you have challenges attracting top performing, let's say, IT project managers? Do you know the 7 things that you must do to attract top performing IT project managers? Simply give us your details and we'll send you a free report. And we'll come on to the Irresistible offer in a moment. But that's just one method. So your website is an example. LinkedIn pay-per-click. I don't know if you know this, I know you do, but you can set up ads on LinkedIn aimed at your specific market. So if you go onto LinkedIn on the right-hand side, you'll see some ads. The ads that you can see are actually aimed at you. You may have seen some of my ads on there. In fact, you may be listening to this video right now because of some of the ads that you see. Facebook is another very popular one now. Some things you can do on there. So I'm just going to kind of just touch on. But you can load your email addresses into Facebook and you can display your ads to your target market. Think about that, both clients and candidates. And before you say, oh, my market's too sophisticated, I don't use Facebook, I'd test it. Open your eyes to the possibility. Now, I've just touched on a few. I've just touched on 3 really quick ones there.
I mean, you mentioned LinkedIn there, Facebook,
your website,
some more. You've got obviously you've got the telephone, you've got direct mail to send and post out.
Right. Emails.
You've got email marketing. I mean, there's literally dozens of different medias you can use, and then even within those medias, there's different methods of using them to attract clients. But again, I know, just as I'm hearing you saying this, people are going to say, but that doesn't work for me. The reason, I mean, most people know, for example, most people know that email exists, right? Most recruiters know that. They know that websites exist. They know all these routes to market exist. It's not that they don't know they exist, but I mean, a lot of people just believe it doesn't work in the recruitment industry. I mean, again, what would you say to that?
No, and I understand that, and I think it's fair to say that when we saw other guys doing it and other search firms doing it, we saying, well, it may work for you and it probably won't work for other search firms, but I want you to bear in mind, first of all, everything I'm sharing with you isn't based on theory. This is what your competitors are doing right now. That's the first thing to remember. And also this, if the methods you're using, I mean, think about it. If you're using a telephone to cold call, if you're using word of mouth, if you're using networking and an MPC as an example, you're using 4 methods for generating leads. Here's a question for you, Drew. If a recruiter's using 4 methods, but another recruiter's using, I don't know, 50 or 60 methods, who do you think is likely to get the most leads?
Well,
it's kind of, it's a silly question.
60, yeah.
And I always say this, look, don't take my word for it, test it. You have nothing to lose by simply testing these methods. So that's what I always say, don't take my word for it, simply go there and test it. In fact, I'm very passionate about this because some of the stuff I'm sharing with you, you may talk to your friends and they go, oh, well, it won't work, your friends at work or at home or family say, well, this isn't going to work. You want to bear in mind that's their personal opinion rather than a fact. I am sharing with you what works. And if you just open your eyes to the realm of possibility that this could work for you, and just go and test it. And there's the best thing. Something like LinkedIn pay-per-click, let's do worst case scenario and it doesn't work. And nobody clicks on your ad. It doesn't cost you anything. It hasn't cost you a dime. That's one of the beauties of some of these things. You can go and test it. You've got a lousy ad up there, nobody responds to it. It hasn't cost you anything. So you're going to say something there, Drew?
Yeah, again, so just it really sort of struck home when you said who you think is going to get more leads, the recruiter who uses 1, 2, 3 or 4 routes to more medias to get their message to the market, or the one who uses 60. And it's inevitable, all things being equal, that the one who uses more medias to communicate their message to the market are going to get a better response. But what I'm also getting here is that these 3 here, and I guess every element of this funnel is almost equally important, but these 3 here, it's almost like a 3-legged stool, because you can't have, they all need to be working in sync, they all need to be working effectively, because if one falls, again, like the 3-legged stool, these are like the legs to the 3-legged stool. If one of them's not working properly, one of them breaks or isn't working properly, then the whole stool collapses, because you can't have, you can have the best, most affluent market possible. If you've got the wrong message and you're using the wrong media, it's not going to work. You could have the best message. If you're sending that message to the wrong market, and again, use the example of selling pork sausages to vegetarians, it's not going to work. If you've got a great market, but the media that you're using, they're not, I mean, let's say your market is deaf people and using radio as a media to reach them, it's just not going to work. So all these 3 things need to be in perfect sync. So you need the right market, you need the right market, sending them the right message, using the right media. They all need to be in sync. If one of them isn't working, all of them isn't working, then the whole store will collapse, and that, along with it, go your profits as well.
Yeah, and I mean, just going back to a few things here. In terms of the market, within the Recruitment Marketing Academy, we've got a document that actually shares with you how to define your ideal market. So we'll tell you about that a bit more a bit later on. But we can help you with a lot of this stuff as well. So just want to let you know, you're not on your own.
So in the Recruitment Marketing Academy, you actually cover all of this that we're covering today. I mean, I'm guessing you've got templates and how-to guides in the academy and things that, I mean, if I was a recruitment business owner, I could go and essentially copy and go out and get results.
Yeah, that's a really good point there. Yeah. You can literally go into the Recruitment Marketing Academy and copy and paste how to get the market. You can go into the Recruitment Marketing Academy and there's template emails in there and landing pages, etc., that you can literally copy and paste and start generating leads. You can go to the Recruitment Marketing Academy, and we have a discussion forum, and some of the other recruiters and search firms from around the world will be sharing with you some of the things that they're doing as well. There's no risk to this whatsoever. Just think about it for me. You literally copy, paste and go. Cut, paste and go.
Great.
I mean, just absolutely fantastic. So it's easy. And I just want to touch on, these you're using the 4 methods. In fact, let me just write this down here, Drew. So you're using 4 methods. Your competitors using, let's call it only 50. Let's call it 50. Let's be modest. And let's say you're really good. And let's say that from each of the methods that you're using, you're generating, let's say, 10 leads a month, every single month after month for those different methods. That's 40 leads. And your competitor is getting 10 leads a month, every single month for 50 methods. But here's something else worth considering. In particular, with cold calling, here's one of the challenges with cold calling. And again, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm yet to meet a hiring manager that says something like this: I really enjoy being interrupted with cold calls. Never, ever have I heard that. Drew, you've been at home and you've got phone calls from home improvement and and whatever. Do you really appreciate those cold calls that come into you?
No.
The other challenge with cold calls is that a lot of people don't actually enjoy making them. So you don't enjoy making the cold calls, and then consequently a lot of people simply just don't do it. The consequence of that, of course, is you're not getting the business. So you've got that resentment, that frustration. Do you know with some of the methods that we're sharing with you now, you can generate leads in your sleep? Do you know with some of these methods here, like the pay-per-click methods, you can generate leads over the weekend? Just think about that for a minute. Just think what that means to your business.
And again, something to add was just reminded me as you were speaking, and I've seen you sort of talk about this in a separate video, but here's what most businesses look like. So this here represents your profit. This block here represents your business profits. Here's what most businesses look like. So this is a sort of cylinder holding it. So let's say that's cold calling.
Mm-hmm.
We've got another one here. Let's say that's word of mouth. I'm just going to put WM. Right. So they're being supported by just 2 routes to market, 2 profit sources. What happens is, any time, and again, we spoke about this in length. What can happen is any one of those routes to market can become less effective. So we've seen it in recent years. You've probably noticed it as well. So all of a sudden, cold calling becomes less effective, and all of a sudden, you're having to work a lot harder to even get through to the right people. Then when you do get through, you're having to work harder to convince them. So that profit source goes. Perhaps now, because you're getting less clients, word of mouth then suffers as well. So when that happens, you're taking away the sort of 2 support structures, and your profits really crumble. But if what you do, what Terry's talking about here, and you've got 50 different methods, and you've got all of these cylinders, all of a sudden you have what we call the Parthenon effect, and you've got all these different cylinders holding up your profit source. So even if one crumbles, let's say again, for whatever reason cold calling is less effective, even if one crumbles, you're still being supported by the remaining 49 or however many you've got. So again, we talk about a lot. The worst number in your business is 1, and that 1 key member of staff, 1 key client. But essentially what we're talking about here, if you've got 1 or few routes to market, 1 method for bringing in leads, then it's really not good. The more the better. You want to have several methods for bringing in profit as you can, several methods for marketing your business as you can.
So we've got the market, we've got the message, we've got the media. Now we need to really get their attention, and we need to offer them something. And this is called the irresistible offer. The irresistible offer. This is something that, from your potential client's point of view, it's irresistible. They have nothing. What you want them to be thinking is, I have nothing to lose by taking up this offer. But by them taking up this offer, and we'll cover it in a bit more detail in a moment, they have a need for what you do. And hey, do you know what the good news is? We've got some irresistible offers within the Recruitment Marketing Academy. So an example of an irresistible offer would be something, Drew, like 7 questions you must ask a search firm before you engage them. Get this free report and discover the 7 questions you must ask a search firm. Now, think about it from the client's point of view. You've offered that, be it in an email or on your website or on LinkedIn or pay-per-click or whatever it is. And what you're saying is, if you have a problem in this area, let me know and I'll send you a report. Simply give us your details and I'll get this report to you. So what would be my details? Give us your email address, give us your name, and I'll email this to you at no cost, no risk, nothing whatsoever, from the client's point of view. That's an irresistible offer. But what it tells you as the recruiter is, they have a need for what you do. Because it kind of makes sense. If they ask for the 7 questions to ask a search firm before you engage them, they have some interest in what you're doing. Does that make sense, Drew?
Yeah, it does it makes perfect sense, but just take it back a step. I mean, let's look at the reason why we offer this irresistible offer. Like it or not, it's a crowded market. If you think about the average day in the life of one of your prospects, we are literally being bombarded by marketing messages from all angles. So from the moment you wake up, you've got the post through the door, people trying to sell and market to you through the post. You perhaps pick up your morning paper, you're reading the paper, and as you're reading the paper, there's print ads again trying to sell to you. You jump in the car and drive to work, there's radio commercials, you get to your office, we've got emails, we've got billboards, we've got cold calls. We're being literally bombarded. So, I mean, what's happening now is the brain is now switching off to the ones we're not interested in, and we've almost become numb to it, we're blocking them out. So it is becoming, and you probably noticed this yourself, becoming increasingly harder to actually get the attention of one of your prospects. Not because they're not interested in what you do per se, but because they've got so many other distractions. So the reason we have an irresistible offer, which is something that we give away for free, so something that's irresistible that we give away for free in order to get the prospect's attention. And all we really want is we want them to raise their hand and say, yes, I am interested in what you do, please tell me more. And we're really making a shift from interruption marketing to what we call permission marketing. So interruption marketing, just to explain very quickly, is you think about the cold call interrupts just about everything. You've got the television commercial interrupts your viewing, the print ad in the paper interrupts your reading. So it's all interruption marketing. What we're making a shift to here is we're making a shift to permission marketing, which is when we only market to people who have given us permission to market to them, people who have told us categorically that yes, they are interested in what we do, and yes, they'd like to find out more. So we've got your market as a whole. They say there's 100 people in your market. It should be more than that. We're just for the sake of these numbers. We've got a powerful message that offers to solve the problem that people in this market are having. We've picked our medias to reach these people. With the medias now, what we're saying is we've got this irresistible offer. So if you're in this market and you've got this problem, then accept my irresistible offer and I'll help you solve it. So can you give us some examples? I know you've got sort of literally dozens of these in the Recruitment Marketing Academy that people can, members can go and use, but for anyone that's watching this who's not a member and isn't quite sure what an irresistible offer is or how we put it together, can you give me some examples of
certainly. Now, just to reinforce something that Drew said there, I think that in the papers quite recently, that the average human being now in Western society gets something like 3,000 marketing messages a day. 3,000 marketing messages a day. I have a friend who's a VP within the automotive industry, and she estimates that she gets approximately 12 cold calls a day, every single day, from recruitment and search firms. Now just think about it. That's what you're competing against.
That's just from recruitment search.
That's right. Just from recruitment firms. She said the two biggest people for cold calling are recruiters and training organisations. And she gets about 10 to 12 calls a day. Now if it's only 10 calls a day, in a month that's 200 calls a month. And she says something else. She said she very rarely takes the call. You want to consider that, by the way. She very rarely takes the call. And she says, the reason that I don't take the calls is because often they're saying very much the same thing, though they're all claiming to be different. But here's what the smart guys are doing. They've got the right market, they've got the message, they've got the media, then the irresistible offer. And to answer your question, it's something that solves the client's problem. So let's go back and I know I keep going on about IT, but that's the area that I used to recruit in. If you're the VP of IT, and you've got some projects to deliver on, so the message we're talking about here is attracting top performing IT project managers to ensure that they can deliver on the projects that they're delivering to. And we found out that the IT directors, a number of them are on Facebook, and most of them will be, by the way, because most people are on Facebook, and we'll go to that another time. Now, the irresistible offer could be something like how to attract top performing IT project managers to your firm. Get this free report and discover the 7 things that you must do to attract the top performers. or a bit more edgy and controversial, but highly successful, would be something like, why top performing IT project managers will never ever join your firm, and the 5 things that you can do about it to make sure that they do. Just think about it. Does that make sense there, Drew?
Yeah,
now,
it does.
Sorry, I'm just going to say, just to finish up on that, all those kind of reports, those irresistible offers, they're done for you. You will literally go into the membership site, get them, copy and paste, put them in your name. You can tweak them and do whatever you do, but it's all done for you, and that's what you'll then offer to the client. Now, at this stage, somebody can say, yeah, but what if there's more than one recruiter offering the irresistible offer, so we're all offering the same thing? You want to consider this. Everybody's cold calling at the moment, and a lot of people seem to be quite comfortable with that. I can promise you, most people are not doing that. I can promise you that. Think about adverts that you see on TV, and car manufacturers are all offering, car ads on TV as an example. Now, one car company's go, oh, well, I'm not going to do a car ad because everyone else is doing it. And again, with this kind of irresistible offer, you completely eliminate cold calling. In fact, all the clients that we work with, not one of our clients would cold call, and there's a reason for that. You don't have to if you're using now 50, 60, 100 methods for generating leads. True.
Again, I've got nothing to add on that. So far we've got the market, which is about who you're targeting. We've got the message, which is about how you communicate what problem they solve. Then we've got the media, and then number 4, we've got irresistible offers. Then come on to step number 5, which is either lead capture or means of response. Again, can you explain to us what that means and really how we go about implementing that into our businesses?
Sure. So lead capture. So you've offered the irresistible offer to your target market with the right message on the right platform or the right media. Now, what you've got to do now is you've got to capture their details. So a lot of search firms at this know that they have an irresistible offer, but what they do is they send out a letter or an email and give everybody the irresistible offer. Now think about it. You send that out to, 1,000 potential clients, this ebook or this brochure or whatever. You have no idea who's actually interested in it. With a lead capture, what you say is, if this irresistible offer will solve your problem, simply give us your details, i.e. your email address or maybe your post address if it's a hard copy or something, and we will send it to you. But what that means from your point of view as the owner and the director of a recruitment firm is you've got their details. You've got their email address. You've got their postal address. You've got their name. You could even ask for the job title, but you know exactly who's requested that, and you've captured their details. True. Yeah,
it makes perfect sense, because I know the first time I sort of got taught this system or heard about this system, I was sort of like, so how does this all come together? How do we, I understood about the market, I understood about having a message that meets their needs, I understood about different medias. I even got the concept of having an irresistible offer and something that allows people to raise their hand and express an interest in what I do. But I couldn't understand how you transfer that into money. But what you're saying here is you need something to capture their details. So again, some of the ways that you might have seen this done is on a website. If you've been to any of our websites, even in fact probably to get onto our mail list and to watch this video, you had to give your name and email address. If it was offline, it could be a case of you taking their business card and saying, look, hey, you're in my market, I know you've got a problem in this area, perhaps you've met them at a networking event and you've got a free report or a free book that helps them solve their problem. You say, look, I've got a book that will help you solve your problem, give me your business card and I'll send you a copy. If we're doing it online, it's a similar message really, similar concept, except we're doing it automatically online. If it's at an event, perhaps it just involves you capturing the details. You need to know everybody in your market who resonates with your message, who has responded to the particular media that you've used and is interested in an irresistible offer. You need a way of capturing their details, so then you know out of that market, these are the ones who are interested. You've got the details of everybody who is interested in what you do. So if your irresistible offer is a book or a video series called 10 Questions to Ask Before You Hire a Recruiter, you know that anyone that requests that information by giving you their details is interested probably in hiring a recruiter, and they're the ones that you focus on, they're the ones that you spend your time following up with, they're the ones that you spend your energy on. I'm on the right track when I say that?
Absolutely, yeah. And you think about it, the average recruiter, if you spend time on the phone, simply cold calling, on average, the average recruiter will get through to 4 or 5 decision makers in an hour. That's the average for the average recruiter or search firm. But think about it, you can send out an email to 2,000 of your potential market. That'll take you 30 minutes max, with the right message, The media would be emails there with an irresistible offer. Let's be really pessimistic. You send it out to 2,000 and only 1% raise their hand, as we call it, because the very fact that they give you the details and ask for that book is what we call the raise their hand and indicate they have some interest in what you're doing. So 1% then request the report. Well, 1% of 2,000, you just got yourself 20 leads by sending out an email. There's no risk in doing that. There's no cost in doing that. The question I'd ask is, why wouldn't you do that? So the lead capture is literally that. You're capturing the lead by getting the relevant details. And again, on the Recruitment Marketing Academy, we actually give you template landing pages and also a video showing exactly how to do that. Again, I keep repeating this to you, but it really is copy and pasted. It really is that simple. So you've captured, they've raised their hand, they've indicated they have some interest in your offering. They've indicated that they have a problem that you may be able to solve. Now, I was going to say that's it and there's your piping hot lead. It's not quite yet, because although they've raised their hand, they still have no relationship with you. It's still on par with you cold calling them, because there's no relationship. So the next step is what we call follow-up. You then follow that up. Does that make sense to you?
It does. So just to be clear, so once you've got the lead, the next stage is then follow-up, which I guess is you then nurturing the lead and building a relationship with them until they're ready to buy, I guess.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Drew. You know, at the moment, as a recruiter, you're cold calling clients and you're what we call pestering clients, and you're saying, "Hi, I'm a great recruiter. Can I have your next job order?" And the clients are saying things like, "Well, send us your terms and I'll get back to you." And you've probably gathered they don't. The reason they don't, and the reason that it's such hard work, is there's no relationship there. Think about it. Let's say you're a search firm and your average placement fee is 10,000 of whatever your local currency is. You're ringing a complete stranger on a cold call. I'm sure your pitch is better than this, but it'd be something like this. You don't know me, I don't know you. Will you spend 10,000 with me? That's a big ask, to asking a complete stranger to spend 10,000 with you. But now you can eliminate that with a follow-up. So they request your report and you simply send them an email. And you acknowledge that they requested your report. You say, "Hey, Mr. Hiring Manager, I noticed you just recently requested my report, 7 questions to ask a search firm before you engage them. Hope you received it. Got any questions, please let me know." And you simply follow them up with a series of emails. And what you're doing is you're nurturing the relationship. Because clients won't buy from you if they don't know you, like you, trust you, or have a need. And by nurturing the relationship with a series of emails, they're getting to know you. Because here's the good news. When you get to the next stage, which I'll show you in a moment, they're extremely receptive, and you'll see why in a moment. Do you have anything to add to in terms of the follow-up?
Yeah, so again, all that marketing is finding someone with a need and then getting them to know, like and trust you. We only buy from who we know, like and trust. So what we've got your market. There's people in your market, some of them who have a need, some of them who don't. Some of them who, as Terry said earlier, are now buyers and who are looking for your services right now. Some of them who don't. What we're trying to do is we're trying to very quickly find out. So what most recruiters do is they get their market and they just literally bombard everybody in their market with the same like message, trying to get them to buy. Essentially, trying to get them to buy. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the now buyer. So we're trying to eliminate people who aren't interested right now and leave them for another time, and find the ones who are really interested now. So the way we're doing that is we're having a message saying, "Hey, do you have this problem right now? If so," we use the media to reach those people. "If so, get my irresistible offer, get my free report or free video series or free ebook, whatever it is, something for free that will help them get on the first step to solving their problems." Okay, then we capture the details of everybody who has fit that criteria. So right now, we've got someone with a need. We've got someone who is in our market and who has this problem, and they've told us that they need that problem solved. Right? We've got the lead. We've actually got the lead at this point. What we're using the follow-up to do is get them to know, like and trust you and build a relationship. So when you do eventually get in that sales situation, you get in that sales meeting, the sales meetings are like 100 times easier, because you're no longer trying to convince somebody that you're the right person to solve their problem, because they already know that. They've already been through this stage and they know that you are the right person they need to be speaking to. It's just a case of formality and crossing the T's and dotting the I's and getting the deal. That's really what this system does for you if you implemented it properly in your business. As Terry said before, this whole system that we've talked about, every element of this system, we go into a lot more detail about this in the Recruitment Marketing Academy, and you can get templates and done for you, ready to go material for each stage. So we can help you, if you haven't done so already, we can help you come up with your profitable target audience. We can help you come up with a compelling message. We help you choose which medias to reach your market, but then two, how do you use these medias effectively? Because as I said before, most people know all the media there are, but how do you use them effectively? We help you craft your irresistible offer, and we've got ones that are ready to use today that you can go and use. We help you build the lead capture process, and then help you do the follow-up as well, which really brings us on to step 7. What is step 7?
Which is a conversion.
Step 7 is conversion.
Yeah. So, So you've got the follow-up. So at this stage, you're going to now convert it into some business, be it a perm placement, a contract, or whatever. But here's some really interesting numbers for you. Again, I keep coming back to this, but when you cold call, what you are, as far as a client's concerned, you're a pest. You're just pestering them all the time for their business. When you use this method, you now become a welcome guest. Think about it. They raised their hand and they indicated they had some interest. So when you cold call, you're trying to cold call 2,000 potential clients. You don't know which of those are the now buyers right now. It's kind of throwing mud against the wall. Some of it will stick. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's hard work. Now using this method, those that are interested right now and raise their hand and ask for your irresistible offer, you know they're interested. You capture their details. You then follow it up and you nurture the relationship. And here's where it gets really interesting. When you call those people that requested your ebook or your follow-up or whatever it is, whatever your irresistible offer is, and you go, hi, my name is, and give your name, and you recently requested my book, on average, 80% of those people, because you'll call them, by the way, and ask them for a telephone meeting. And again, we'll give you the script within the Recruitment Marketing Academy, but 80% of those will agree to a telephone meeting. Let's do some numbers on that. You've only got a target list of 2,000. You send out an email, you generate 20 leads. So 1% requested your free report. You've got 20 people that have now requested your free report. You nurture that relationship. 16 of those each month agree to a telephone meeting. 16 potential clients every month agree to a telephone meeting. What would that mean to you? And you know, at the moment, something that Drew and I have talked about, it's one of the big frustrations for recruiters at the moment is doing a lot of work. Some staggering figures here. Something like between 20 to 40% of the assignments or job orders that you work on, you will actually fill. What that means is, though, 60% of the time they're working, you're not going to get paid for it. Think about that. 60% of the time you're working, you're not going to get paid for it. The reason you're not going to get paid for it, if you've used those methods to get in front of the client's got no respect for you. They don't value your time. But with this method, it's a completely different relationship. Even if you can't get the retained, and you're more likely to get a retainer this method because you're getting them early. See, when you're using this method, you're calling people and they go, yeah, we've got a job order here, we've got 20 other people working on this, you can have it as well. Do you really want to be treated like that? Do you really want clients that have no respect for you? And we've all been there, where you then send off your CVs or your resumes to those clients because they said they're looking, and 2 weeks later you're still waiting to hear from them because there's no relationship there. They have no respect for you whatsoever. And what that creates for you is frustration, and in some cases anger, and I can get that. The good news is it's totally avoidable by using this method, because you're now speaking to 16 clients every month. And by the way, you want to speak to more than 16? Great, just increase your market. The guy did that on 1%. You send out an email, only one method by the way, and you got 1%. But it means you're speaking to about 16 hiring managers a month, every single month. Does that make sense, Drew?
Yeah, it does. Makes perfect sense. And again, just looking at this system that you've put together. What I like about the system is that it's really simple, and anyone, no matter sort of where they are in a business, can go and implement this as well. And you've made it even easier because you've provided templates for every stage in the Recruitment Marketing Academy. But here's where I see, here's what I see a lot of recruitment and search firm owners doing right now, is they tend to go from, so although in these areas here, although there will be room for improvement, they tend to get, I guess, at some level, get it right. They know who their market is, that they perhaps can improve their message, but at least they're doing something. And although they could use more medias, as we talked about before, they are using some, which is better than none. But here's what happens. They'll go through this stage, down to here, and then what they're doing is, rather than doing what you're talking about, which is making the shift from interruption marketing to permission marketing, they're making a jump at this stage and trying to jump right down to conversion. And the problem with that is, again, as we spoke about before, your clients will only buy from you once they know, like, and trust you. So although I'm not saying doing it that way doesn't work and missing out these 3 stages doesn't work, but what this stage does, which I really like, is it makes it a whole lot easier for one, you. So if you've got consultants as well, imagine your consultants are only ringing people who have took the irresistible offer, so have told you they have a need for what you do. They've given you their details, and you and your consultants are only calling people who meet that criteria. What it does, it makes the conversion a whole lot easier, because instead of ringing people, again, if you've done cold calling, you know there's some of the responses that you get. I mean, politely they say go away, but at the worst, you get. I mean, it's a really. It can be quite demoralising. Some of the response you get. I mean, it's people don't respect you when you interrupt their day. I mean, I guess because on the phone as well, there's no real connection there. You can get some real abuse, and again, so you hear some horror stories, and I guess we sort of laugh it off as humans, but at the same time, it doesn't feel very nice. I don't want to spend my day being told constantly that again, not very nice words from these other people. But what you do at this stage is you're ringing people who know who you are, like what you do, have a problem, and trust that you are the person to solve it. So it's a completely different relationship. Terry, does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And we've been really modest on these numbers. You speak to 16 hiring managers in a month. And let's say that you only get 2 new clients from that every single month. What's that worth to you in business over that first 12 months? And what's the average client worth to you over the lifetime of that relationship? So there are the 7 steps. So let's just recap. So we talked about the market. You've got to have a well-defined market. You've got to have a large enough market as well. Then the message that you send out to them. What you're looking to do there is, rather than saying, I'm a great recruiter, talk about solving their problem. What's the market's problem that you can help solve? Where do these guys hang out? What media can you use? You know, there will be more than one media. Kind of makes sense. The more media you use, the more numbers you're going to get in. Then have the irresistible offer. Going back to these first 4, all these are in the Recruitment Marketing Academy. You can go in now and go and get them right now. So the irresistible offer, that's there. It's done for you. You just go in there, tweak and everything else. You offer that to your market. And you say, if you're interested, if you have a problem in this area, give us your details, that's the lead capture, and I'll get this irresistible offer to you, but it tells you, as the recruiter, they have a need. Now, that's all it tells you, they have a need. So that what we call raise the hand and say, I do have a need for what you do. And then we have what we call it the relentless follow-up, and you just keep in touch with them on a regular basis, and you're nurturing that relationship. So they get to know you, like you, and trust you. So when you get to the call, you call them, and we do recommend that you simply call for a telephone meeting, because it's just the next stage of the relationship. And just to cover that off very quickly, the reason that you just go for a telephone meeting rather than, can I come and see you sometime, I can have a job order, it's just the next stage of the relationship. Again, that script is in the Recruitment Marketing Academy. And you simply call them for the telephone meeting. And if you're using those methods with just 2,000, you should be getting something like 16 telephone meetings a month, every single month. Let's say you only get 8. Telephone meetings a month with hiring managers every single month after month after month. You can't help but convert them. Drew, anything else you want to add to that before we go on to what we cover in the next video?
No, I mean, it's been, I guess, yeah, I really sort of like how simple this is. I like that you've provided all the templates and steps in the Recruitment Marketing Academy. I guess the only thing to add is sort of just to really highlight the cost of not doing this and the cost of not implementing this in your business. I mean, if there's a recruiter who's listening to this and isn't doing this, what does the future look like for that person?
Well, it's becoming more and more difficult. We all realise this to get through to hiring managers on the phone. To be fair, I was cold calling 27 years ago as a recruiter. That's what I was doing 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Things have changed then. In the next video, we're going to cover some of the things that you can do to get in front of clients without making a single cold call. I want to emphasise this. Not one of our clients that we work with would do any cold call in a call, and neither would any of their consultants. They would actually ban it. And there's a reason for that. You don't have to when you're using this method. You only now call warm clients who have raised their hand and said, I could have some interest.
Okay, great stuff. So, I mean, I know in the next video we're going to be talking about internet marketing. Again, can you just very quickly explain, I guess, what that is and some of the things you're going to be talking about in the next video? Yeah,
as I mentioned just there, that 27 years ago I was cold calling to get business. Things have changed over the last 27 years. I was with some friends quite recently. They just they booked the holiday on their mobile phone while we're in the restaurant. And that's the way the market's going. So we're going to share with you how you can use the internet, some fundamental basic things that you can do as an owner of a recruitment search firm to generate leads simply by using the internet. We're going to show you some real simple stuff. And again, a lot of information we're going to share with you will be accessible via the Recruitment Marketing Academy. If you've got any questions or comments about this video, or you want to know any more about the Recruitment Marketing Academy, where to get the information from, simply post your comments at the bottom of this video and we'll get back to you. So just simply post your comments at the bottom of this video and we'll get back to you. Drew, thank you very much for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, bye.
Bye.